Welcome! It's June 22nd, and welcome to Moonscapes. And we are on the evening of the 22nd and morning of the 23rd of the June 2013 supermoon. And it's a news media frenzy, and it really doesn't make too much difference to us sky watchers. If you've paid any real attention to what they've been saying, the average person looking at the full moon this time around really won't see any difference between any other full moon. It'll be about 14% larger than the average full moon, but it's just not enough for the eye to really see. It's just kind of a neat thing for the news media to kind of jump on. So here I am doing a video. I didn't really expect to be out here tonight. I've done a string of videos over the last week or so. I don't know, I think maybe 4 of them all told, something like that. And I really was about ready to pack it in for the cycle. But I thought, what the heck, we'd get out here and see what this super moon is all about. And let's see. Right now I'm playing with a little bit of color. Got the color intensity up around 60%. Getting a little bit of what I like to call a butterscotch look in the mountain regions, and out in our areas there. They're a little, I guess maybe a greenish blue color. What happens if I fool around with some of these settings manually and see if we can get a little more detail out of this moon. There, that gives a little better look at some of the detail in there. It's not quite so harsh. I shut the auto off and I adjusted the gain and exposure a little bit. Just to let you know, I'm using my 4.7-inch Orion refractor tonight. With a 21mm eyepiece, and the reason I'm doing that is because that telescope, as you can see, allows me to get the full disc. This is the final click. If you notice what happens when I go out one more click, look what's going to happen. I'll do it right now. Look what we get. So that first click back in, and I have the full disc, and we can enjoy the full view. We'll zoom in a little bit on some of these other features as we're going along. But to start with, just wanted to give a full moon view. It's really pretty neat. I am using the V-block filter that I have for that Orion telescope. It's supposed to cut down the violet end of the spectrum and cut down on blue fringing. And as we tried last time around, it seemed to work pretty well. So I've got it in there again tonight, and we're using it. Now, I don't know how long we're going to be able to go tonight. The conditions here are really pretty lousy. This moon just cleared a treetop here at my location. We've got quite a few clouds scattered around the sky that's just cleared off recently. Just before I went on, the moon disappeared for a couple minutes behind a bunch of clouds. It's back out again now, so I'm going to give this a shot while I can. You can see up there at the, maybe 10 o'clock, you can see our old friend Tycho throwing out a bunch of rays. That's that bright ray pattern. That's pretty neat. That really stands out even at low power. And if we zoom in a little bit, we'll zoom in on it. You can see Tycho up there at the 10, 11 o'clock side. And I can even cut down the exposure a little more. See if we can bring out those rays a little bit more. Let me see. They're there. I don't want to. If I go too far, I kind of blow them out. There, I dropped the gain. There you can see a nice ray pattern there now. Also tonight, I'm back. I just did this as a real quick setup. My Orion mount is a much heavier, hefty mount, and I'm using my Orion Skyview Pro mount. That is the mount that I had just off my son's shed last winter, and it's much more difficult to control. It's not as fast acting, and I've got to kind of plan ahead with it sometimes. So far, I'm doing okay with it, but it's not as responsive as that Orion Atlas mount is. And you can hear the early fireworks folks out there banging things all around here. That was nice. Sounded like an M80 just went off over to my left here. Okay, we're coming into Copernicus is the feature that's drifting down towards the 5, 6 o'clock area. As soon as I can get this to stop, I'm not sure. I never know if I'm going the right way with this. Let me see if I can figure out which way I want to go. I'm probably going to have to go the other way. Yeah, I think I got to go this way, or I'm going to lose the whole thing. This mount is very, very difficult. Like I say, it's great for visual work, but for this kind of work, it's not as responsive. There we go. I got it to go back. That's the problems that you have with it. Now we can zoom a little bit more on this ray structure on this side of the moon. Actually, I can go up a little higher. My focus looks a little like it might not quite be quite as sharp as I like it. I've got it on manual. Let me play with that a little bit and see if I can get it to... it's pretty touchy. Pretty touchy. What happens if I go, let's try auto. Auto. That's on auto, but I know what it's going to do. It's going to jump around because, remember where we are, guys, here. I'm in Terryville, Connecticut, and you can see there's our scene causing the image to jump around back and forth. I don't like that. I have to get a really, really good night to stay with that auto setting. So let's take it off, refocus up manually. Okay. Notice Aristarchus over near 10 o'clock on the side. Look at that bright white. Let me see. I don't have an awful lot of zoom. As I said, I'm using a low power. Okay, I'm just about zoomed all the way now. Notice the bright, brilliant white up at going up towards 2 o'clock. That's Aristarchus. And then, unfortunately, with what I'm using tonight, I can't get in too close. I did this more just so we can get a nice look at the full moon tonight, not going in and taking a close-in look at detail, since we don't have a lot of detail as it is on the full moon anyway. I want to play with this color a little bit. Okay, that's dropping it down. Now, see, down around 20% we go, and it's almost the gray already. So let's go back up and see where we start picking up color. Coming back up. And I'm up at almost 60. I'm beginning to see some hints of it. It's really odd that I've got to go this high to get color out of this tonight. Of course, the moon's low. It's going through a lot of atmosphere right now, so that could be part of the problem. Something I want to see. I did the bare minimum setup. I don't have my Atlas setup, so I'm trying to read off of a piece of paper some areas that I'm not really certain of. And when that Aristarchus is on the floor of Ocean Procelorum. That's the side of the moon we don't get to see too often. And a couple nights ago, I did a video after pulling out the 10-inch. If you remember a few videos back, I pulled out my 10-inch and did a couple of nice videos. That's back when we were studying Bill Bryson's Snake Bridge. And speaking of Bill, we've been kind of in touch off and on today, back and forth between our two sites. I sent him a couple messages. He got back to me a couple times, and I'm really hoping he checks out my videos that I did the Snake Bridge, and really hope that he makes an attempt to image again with his equipment, because his Texas scene just blows us away here in Connecticut. I mean, on a rare occasion I'll get that good night, but it's really a matter of pure luck. I have to be setting up and deciding, yeah, I'm going to go out, and then have the good scene come along with it. I do have one little tool I can use. I have that clear sky clock, which really is accurate out about 36 hours for predicting clouds. But it also predicts scene quality pretty good. So sometimes I can get a full 24-hour heads up on a night with good scene. But it's not something I can count on. I just noticed something weird. Why is that? When I hold my mouse down near the brightness and turn my wheel, oh, I didn't know it did that. Hey, learn something new every day. If I put the mouse on the line of the control and turn the wheel on my mouse, I get better control. What a dummy am I. That just shows you how much I know about computers. Whoa, look at that. Just blew it out of the water. Let's bring it back. Do it again. Yeah, the exposure is really touchy. You ought to be a little bit careful with that. Let's back out since we're talking full moon tonight, and let's kind of enjoy the view as I babble on here a little bit. I'm not going to go too long tonight. I just did this because I wanted to say that I did the super moon and gave you folks out there a chance to look at it. Hopefully Bill's going to get a clear night down there in Texas, and I'm sure he'll be out there doing it too, and I'm sure his will be better seen than I get here. But of course, using low power like we are right now, with the moon like this, the scene's not too much of a problem, because we're not pushing the power. We're using a low power, so the scene doesn't come into play quite as much. It looks like we're getting a few clouds drifting across. Yeah, so you can see some bands of clouds starting to drift up across the moon. And I'm sitting in my car, as usual. It makes it a lot easier for me to set up, and I cannot tell if we're going to get a huge batch of clouds come in and completely cover us up or not. So if that happens, that'll shut us down. As I say, I'm not intending to do a real long session. This is my third, like I say, at least my third night out, fourth or fifth video, and my wife was a little bit concerned. I won't say upset, but concerned, because as I've mentioned before, I have some real back issues, and I just went for another MRI, and my surgeon wants to see me again. Apparently I got a little situation developing up above my last fusion. So I was told not to do any heavy lifting until I get to see him again. And as I mentioned to you the other night, I was sitting out here 2 nights in a row with the Orion Atlas mount and the 10-inch telescope, and had a total of about 100 pounds of equipment sitting out there. Not something I really should be doing at this point, but I don't know. I really love what I'm doing here. It's lots of fun, and you kind of get the hook in you, and you just you can't stay away from it. I try to be careful so I don't do damage, and I've been through enough with this situation where I don't want to have to go through any more than is necessary. So that's why tonight I went with the real light side. I went with the 4.7-inch refractor. That's a very light instrument. The Skyview Pro mount, that's light. I would say it probably weighs, all assembled, maybe 30 pounds, if that. It's probably half the weight of my Atlas mount. Of course, you pay, as you haven't seen, as in the control. I don't have the good control, although I'm not doing too bad tonight. And there we go. I'm trying to look at for something to zoom in on and see if maybe we can look for a little more color in some of these mirror floors. For some reason, we're not picking up an awful lot of color tonight. It's like I say, I see a greenish look. If I boost this color intensity way up, let's just blow it out of the water. Okay, it's way up there. Yeah, it's more of a green than blue actually tonight. And over on the left-hand side is that deep butterscotch color, actually going pink. But that's blowing out of the water. That's not true. So if we start dropping it back down and try to get it to a natural look here, this is pretty natural here, and we do have some color. Not an awful lot though. Okay, let's let me see. I'm going to bring this moon down. This is dangerous when I start trying to move things around with this mount because, like I say, it doesn't like to respond too well. And once I start it, sometimes I can't stop it. It wants to keep rolling until I can get the backlash out of the gears. I want to take a look at the Mar Humorum area and up along the, I believe it's the western limb, up where the Marius Hills were. But of course, we can't get in and look close at them tonight. I just don't have the power available. As I say, I'm using a 21 millimeter eyepiece straight through. This Orion 4.7 scope is a 1,000 millimeter focal length. I calculated the power out, and now I have totally forgot what it was. I don't remember. It's somewhere around 50. It's not really high, so that's why we can get the full disc in. So let's zoom in. Let's use all the zoom I have and see how close we can get. It's not going to show us an awful lot. Notice that dark patch all the way up at 12 o'clock? That's Grimaldi. Yeah, it's classified as a crater, but to me it almost looks like a small mar. It's always amazed me that they've called that a crater. It looks like a mar to me, but then who am I? Let's see. Just try to bring it down a little bit. I'm looking over at the clock, and 17 minutes in. So at least if it clouds up now, we won't have lost the night, as I see some more clouds starting to roll in. Kind of adding a Halloween look to it in June. Halloween in June. Okay, and now I can't stop this thing from coming down. Why is that? Let's see. I should grab here any second, or better, or we're going to lose the whole moon here. Okay, I am pushing this in the right direction. No, I'm not. That's the problem. We're going to lose it completely. There she goes. Okay, let's sit here for a second. Let's see if I can get this back. I may have lost it, and that's a disaster for this mount. If I've lost it, I'm not sure. I'm not getting it back. I may have completely lost the moon in this session. Let's push it back and hold it. Boy, oh boy. You know what? I'm going to try something I've never done, and that is I'm going to have to go out to the telescope and leave the mic, and we'll see what happens. We'll see. I see some flickering here, and I don't know if that's because I'm getting closer to the moon. I'm holding a button. Let me say it was reversed. So I want the moon to go down. I had to push the... No, wait a minute. I see some bright... here we go. Okay. Here, dummies finally figured it out. I got lucky, actually, to tell you the truth. I didn't know which way I was going with it. I just took a stab at it and pushed it down. That's how sloppy this mount is. It's really, really, really annoying to work with. Okay, we're almost all the way zoomed in anyway here. And as I say, we're not going to see a lot of detail. That edge does not look all that sharp. Let's try autofocus, see what happens. And yeah, there's not a lot of And autofocus is not going to like this. See that wavering, even at low power, you can see just how bad this seeing here in Connecticut. It can be very, very frustrating. I mean, over the years, I was a deep sky observer and CCD image, where I took these nice, beautiful color photos of deep sky objects, and the moon was just my enemy. I stayed away from the moon. So seeing conditions like this were never a big issue with me, because they didn't bother things like imaging galaxies and star clusters and nebula and things like that. So it never really bothered me that much. But now when you get into lunar and planetary work, it's a problem. It's really a problem when you have tough seeing. And here we got some more clouds coming in. As I was saying, Bill Bryson, with his moon musing sites, and I kind of conversed back and forth today in the comments section, and I hope he's going through my list of videos kind of one at a time, and I've heard several comments back from him on my beginning videos, and I'm really looking forward to him getting up to my the ones on the Snake Bridge, on his Snake Bridge that he stumbled on, or he thinks he stumbled on. I really would hope he will take another stab at it. Like I say, I've calculated it out, or looked at my virtual moon atlas, and it shows that 5.3 days from the next new moon, that'll be right on the terminator. Rixus, the crater Rixus, where that bridge is, will be right on the terminator. And that would kind of equate to the night that he discovered it, and kind of be roughly the same sun angle. And then, like I said, it'd be nice if he could try to get it 24 hours and then maybe 48 hours after that night, and get the sun angle up high, like I did the night I observed it with my 10-inch. And then everything kind of changes. It looks different. You get a totally different view. And as I say, I saw a couple protrusions that kind of stuck out from both sides of the crater. But to me, they just didn't look like they had the same extension that they did with the low angle at sunrise. And as I showed you that night, I did zoom along a little bit along the terminator and showed you how that low sun angle can really make things look very different. And if you go back to the last video I did, I forget what number I'm on. This may be in my Moonscapes series. I think this may be the 13th. I've got to check the number. I'm not sure. But anyway, go back to my last one. And I did the Marius Hills area, and that was done with a very, very low sun angle. The crater Marius had come out onto Plosalorum that we've just looked at, and just right near the edge of the terminator, you could see those cinder cones. And as I mentioned, it almost looked like a rough sandpaper. And the next night, I noticed Bill did a video the very next night, 24 hours after I did mine, and he went by that spot, and we're losing the moon in the clouds. I noticed the Marius Hills, the hills part of it, had almost disappeared just now in 24 hours, because they're not very high. They're very low cinder cones, and as soon as the moon gets a little altitude, you lose them. So things change very, very quickly at the terminator, and so it'd be very interesting. I really hope Bill can check that out again, and we can kind of work together. As I say, Bill and I have totally different views when it comes to astronomy. He's, as you know, very enthusiastic, and he puts on a good show with his videos. I love checking out his videos. But, he believes in life and UFOs on the moon, and, as I've said in the past, that's fine. I don't. I'm much more come from the scientific point of view. But I have said in the past that's not a bad thing. I mean, if you have everybody agreed, you know, nothing would get done. I mean, if everybody agreed, you worked towards the same goal, so to speak. Nothing's gained. When you have people looking at it from both sides of the aisle, that's where discoveries are made, because you're trying to prove something and they're trying to prove something, and the end result is advances are made, discoveries are made. Like this bridge of Bill Bryson's. He may be right. There may be something to that. There may be something there. I looked at it, and I kind of believe it was caused by the throw of the sun. But maybe not. Maybe there's more to it, and he might be able to prove it with a better night of seeing down there, and with a good high quality view of it. Where here in Connecticut, I'm going to try for some more high power shots of several areas I want to go back into, but I've been limited to how much power I could use. That Morius Hills section that I did the other night was done with a brand new eyepiece that I had gotten for Father's Day. Nice to have a nice family that still thinks of me at Father's Day. They got me a nice new Meade 9mm eyepiece, which I used on that, and I used it without a Barlow, and using it on my 5-inch Maxudov Cassegrain, which is a 60-inch focal length. And this is kind of neat. It's like sitting here at Halloween watching the clouds go by the spooky moon. That eyepiece gave, as if you go back and look at that video of mine of the Marius Hills and Aristarchus, it gave beautiful, beautiful images. Now, I think those eyepieces are the exact same lenses that Bill talked about in his early videos when he had those Astrotech series of lenses. They're a 6-element eyepiece. There's, in other words, there's 6 elements of glass in there. 2 of them are made from ED glass. And they're 60-degree eyepieces. Now, I think the Meade eyepiece that I have is the exact same lenses, but made to be put, and they're put in Meade's barrel. In other words, they're made all the same, and then for whatever company they're going to, they're put in their eyepiece barrel. So I think this 9mm eyepiece is the exact same as the 9mm in Bill Bryson's set when he uses his Astrotech series of lenses. And boy, that thing worked just great. I did find that if you take time to really center the camera over the eyepiece, make sure, like I did tonight. Now look at this image of the moon tonight. Notice I'm dead square on. There's no false coloring around any of the edges because I took time to move the camera back and forth, in and out, until I hit the best possible position and then tightened it down in position. And it really makes a difference. I've noticed if you don't take the time and you're a little bit off with your alignment, it really affects the quality and the edge color. It can bring in false color on the edges. Okay, I'm babbling on here. This is just an enjoyable night for me looking at this full moon. Like I said, there's very, very little to be gained by zooming in, but let's go in again. Hey, something just flew by the moon. I got a UFO. That was a fast bird, I believe, and very close to the telescope. Although there may be those of you out there who would disagree with me, but you know what? It's whatever you like it to be. I can see in the center of the disc, you know, those dark markings. There's another one went down the middle of the field. As Bill would say, a UFO convention on the moon. I think it's a bird convention, but that's okay. See those dark patches in the center of the moon? That's the area that Schroeder in the 1700s, and then our friend Gerthesine, who came up with the white cities and the life on the moon. Those are the areas that they thought had cities in them. Of course, we're not going to be able to go in and look anywhere near close at them tonight because we don't have the power available. But those darkish areas, they suspected of being vegetation, and possibly that's why they tied the cities to them. And we can zoom in a little bit. I'll see how much we can see of them. You can just see that they're darker looking than the surrounding mare and mountain terrain. You know what I wonder? Oh, look, we're 30 minutes in again. This is just unbelievable. I just want to see if I can locate. I've got the moon drifting again. Let me get it back before I lose it. I wanted to just see if those. There we go. I got it back. I wanted to see if those 3 spots in the crater Alphonse were visible here at full moon night. That would be very interesting. I'm going to see if I can locate those. You see, it's going to be totally by memory about where to look for them. I'm looking and I can't see them. I know. Let me see. And I'm zoomed in all the way. There goes something else by the way. I got some activity going here tonight. I'm trying to see there, and now there's Tycho. You come down from Tycho, and see how, boy, everything just with this full moon. You can just see how. Okay, I got them. I see them. Maybe in the full screen tomorrow, or when it's up on YouTube, I'll put them dead center. I mean, I've got a small preview screen. Like I say, I'm still using the Logitech software. Which I taught Bill gave me a heads up on the debut software. And another bird just went whipping by. Got a lot of birds tonight. Dead center, it's drifting down. See it? There's a little tiny triangle of three little dark patches. Dead center in the field. See them? They're a triangle. The triangle is pointing up towards 12 o'clock. Those 3 patches are actually the 3 patches that are in the floor of the crater Alphonse. And that's amazing. Those patches are in that one crater, and here at full moon, with the full disk of the moon, we are looking at 3 patches, dark patches, in the crater of Alphonse. And what better way to end the evening than that? I'm going to back out. We'll take a final look at this super moon. Now, technically, the super moon will not be till about something like somewhere around 6:25 tomorrow morning is actual full moon. But it's super full moon night. We got out here and we've got a great view of it. Hope you enjoyed it. I chatted on. Boy, there goes another one. Boy, this. UFOers will go wild on this one tonight. Is it the full moon doing it? That's totally against my grain, but you know, whatever you want. But pretty neat. That's a gorgeous full moon. There's more clouds starting to drift in. Okay, guys, that'll be it, and it'll probably be it for me for a while too, because going past full moon, I won't be out in the middle of the night, late at night, to get the moon in its last quarter phase. So I'll be planning for our next session, and next time the moon comes around, and I'll get out with some more videos, and we'll have some more fun. I'll look for some more interesting features, some more historical. I love the historical stuff. If I can tie it to a feature, I love doing that. And you know, we can go back and start with some more serious work on the moon. So as that last little bit of cloud drifts by and opens up and shows us a nice full view of the full moon, and there goes another M80 over the side here. Over my left shoulder, out the window here, down the street, somebody just let off another big M80, I guess it was. And there it is, the super full moon of June 2013. And with that, guys, I'm going to say good health, clear skies, and we'll see you again soon, guys. Take care.